Have you ever had to make a model where large parts end up being repeated? Like, for example, this blade here. Like, you could obviously go and duplicate with linked duplicates, like every single element, like keep this as linked, and then when you modify the mesh, it will modify all the instances. So this is, I guess, a solution, but the problem is it only acts on the mesh itself. So it doesn't care about that it's multiple objects, all with their respective transforms and everything. So what you can do instead is put everything that you want to duplicate into a collection, like this blade collection here, with all the individual objects here. And then in your main collection, you just make empty objects. Like this is just one empty. And the magic happens here. You go into instancing, and instead of none, you say collection, and then you say which collection you want. And then you can just, move it around, duplicate, whatever. And this has nothing to do with GamiFlow, but it's a standard Blender feature. But in the latest 1.1 release of GamiFlow, I've made lots and lots of changes to support this sort of workflow. So now it should just work, with the little caveat that the way Substance expects you to bake things, it doesn't like stacked UVs. So I always end up having to destack them manually in my code, and the problem is then you don't know which island will actually be paintable. For example, is it going to be this blade, or this blade? So I've added here a little tick box where you're saying main instance, and this one will definitely stay inside the UV grid, and then this is the one you should be able to paint. Then if you unwrap, things will work just fine. We just need to wait a second, and looks pretty good to me. If we make low, it also looks fine. Make high also looks fine. And then when we make export, let me actually just hide this one. When we make the export mesh, everything is nicely merged into a single optimized mesh, just as we like. So now in Substance, we've got a bake that looks just fine as expected, and I just want to show what's going on with the which one is paintable. So if we try painting here, nothing happens. Here also nothing happens, but this one is paintable as we'd expect. And of course, what we paint on one gets painted on all the others. And just to show you what it looks like these are the UVs, and this is all the deduplicated destacked UV islands. So this is the only thing that you can paint on, and if I paint here, I would expect it to show up here as well. Yeah. So you should now be able to save yourself a lot of hassle and keep large portions of your models in sync, which will somehow allow you to iterate faster than humanly possible.